So my lady and I, we've been, this is definitely sick and wrong qualifying. We've been experimenting sexually, and I bought a speculum from Amazon.
Oh my God.
I get this fucking thing, and it's not the best made thing ever.
I should have saved this for the main show.
This is also there's experimenting sexually together. Buying a speculum is not experimenting sexually. That's for medical use. There's no point. If I was at a man's house and he says, "Let's do something kinky, baby," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm really up for that too. Let's do it." And then he rocked out a fucking speculum. I'd be like, "What the fuck? Why do you want to see my cervix?
I want to see what you got in there. Let's go spelunking."
I mean, you fucking put that. Every woman has a fear of a speculum. No woman goes, "Oh yeah, baby, put that speculum in." Like, they're like, no, terrified.
There was a girl I worked with at the Roaring 20s, and I write about her in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which story. I also forget her stage name.
Speculum Sally.
No, her real name was I think her real name was Victoria. Everyone called her just Vic. But she died. Heroin addict. She also fucked a German Shepherd.
God.
But anyway, she had a regular that would.
Was it a German Shepherd?
No, it was at the Roaring 20s. It was a regular that would come in, and at the time, because it was like such a shitty strip club, like he would give her like $300, and then she would always break me off at 20, which I would be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing," or $10, I'd be amazed by it. But later on, when I worked at better strip clubs, you get better tips. But this guy, his thing was, and I write about this in the book, but he would come in and he has speculum, and she was always like, I'm sort of weirded out by it, but I don't really give a shit. Who cares? He would stick the speculum in there, get like a little pen light, and just flash it in,
and just fucking look.
No, he would stick Star Wars figures wrapped in cellophane just inside. Shit. So he'd stick like a C-3PO and like a fucking Boba Fett and shit just like up inside of there.
Those vintage Star Wars figures are worth cash money.
If they're
not obviously now that they're covered in fucking heroin addict pussy cum.
Heroin addict whore's milk.
Yeah, not now, but like, is this what Schlitzy's planning? I'm going to get speculum. I'm going to look at my wife's cervix and I'm going to stick some fucking Star Wars figures in there because he's a nerd. I could see
I could see him doing with his little. Does he play like World of Warcraft or something?
Yeah, he's like.
I could see him doing
nerd.
that. I could totally see that.
I can too. Fucking speculum.
But I'm still like, I've got a whole like gaping pussy like thing. I don't know. I like it.
Do you remember that guy that used to call him that was like, "I'm all about the gapers"?
The gaping. I quite enjoyed his phone calls, to be honest.
I don't know what happened to that guy. I wish he'd call back.
He should, yeah. I doubt he's the patron. But
I tie her down and I, warm her up. I stick the speculum in and start
what the fuck is she, an oven?
Enjoying it.
I warm her up.
I think she's like a vintage car.
Yeah, warm her up. Schlitzy is a terrible
liking
lover.
the pain-inflicting part and all that. And
do speculums hurt? Are they very uncomfortable?
Yeah, because you're basically forcing your whole fucking pussy open. It's like an uncomfortable
experience. What the fuck? Is he like role-playing as a gynecologist? Like a really shitty, junky gynecologist?
Yeah, this is not kinky sex. This is like unsatisfying sex. What woman has ever said to you, "Oh yeah, I can only come if you gape my vagina apart"?
I know.
That's the only way I can come.
I shouldn't be as hard as I am right now, but whatever.
I fucking pick my camera up with the light to see inside, and she's in the process of starting to get her period. And I'm super aroused, ready to go, and I see this blood starting to seep out, and it's definitely not from like the actual speculum itself. It's just like coming from the cervix.
It's from a period, which fucking happens, Schlitzy.
Wait, does he fuck her with a speculum?
No, right. What a speculum does is it gapes your pussy completely open so you can see the cervix. So she's on her back, tied to the bed, and he's got a speculum in her, and he's looking inside of her, and he can see
And that's
her
what gets him
period
hard.
blood. Apparently, so a gaping open pussy.
Ah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. Whatever. Who am I to judge?
I ain't
still.
to each your own, but I'm allowed to judge Slitsy.
That's not what I wanted to see looking in there.
Oh, that's what grosses you out.
and
The fucking period. He's
Like
scared
you're
of
ruining
period.
my gaping pussy.
Oh my god, yeah. I got this speculum just for us, and your fucking period came along and ruined it. You fucking bitch. Like, fucking
killed that kink for me. Like, I really don't want to fucking do it again.
I'm
Good.
done now with your fucking time of the month.
Good. Yeah, oh
You could
my
have told
God,
me
periods.
Aunt Flo's in
I
town.
can't believe he's disgusted by periods. Well, do you know what? Get the fuck over it. Women have periods.
Do you think he just like ripped out the speculum and was like, I'm going upstairs to play Warcraft?
Oh my God, I had to cross my legs really tight when you just said rip out the speculum.
I guess that's why you're just supposed to stick things in and not look. Keep it sick, keep it wrong.
You can
Kyle
look at a
Harrison,
pussy, Schlitzy.
You fucking kite.
Right, what the fuck? Oh, I guess that's why you stick things in and not look. What man has never, like, men always look at my pussy.
No,
when
you
they're
could look
fucking
at a pussy.
eating
You
it.
could look at pussy. I don't think I need to look in the interior,
Tight,
deep
yeah.
inside, to see
Do you know what?
the biology
have-
of the pussy.
I have a cervix. I don't need to look at my cervix to be like, oh yeah, I have one. Like, I don't want my many men's who are licking my pussy to be like, let me see that cervix, baby. It turns me on. It's like, no, you're not going to see my cervix. I can't see it.
It's
You
the
can't
whole
see it.
thing with the gaping asshole and stuff. I don't want to see the interior of your colon. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I like
No,
the
it's not my
external
thing.
genitalia, like your pussy, like your clit. I don't need to see your uterine walls.
Exactly.
You know?
How is that turning him on? And then what? He's scared of a little period blood, a naturally occurring thing that happens throughout what, the ages of 13 to like fucking 50. What a
Yeah.
pussy, man! What an absolute fucking pussy!
Yeah, I
dude.
feel like
Scared
if
of a
you're
little
like,
period.
if you got the fucking shit spread open with a fucking speculum that you purchased at a store, you gotta like expect that you might find something in there, whether it be like, some clotted blood or whatever.
a golem baby.
A fucking 60-day-old tampon. There's something that's in there.
A 60 day. Actually, right. Have I ever told you this story? Okay, right. Once I got really drunk and I shagged this guy, brought him back to my house, shagged him. But I was on my period. And like usually what I will do in that situation is just get hot and heavy in the bedroom and I'll take the period out and I like hide the tampon like under the bed or something like that.
Whoa. That's dangerous.
Because
What if you forget about it and find it like a year later?
No, because you always just remember that you were on your period. It's just something I've done.
I would be
in the
so
past,
disgusted
right?
if I was staying there and be like,
Why are you looking under my bed?
Well, I'd be like, I dropped my phone, and then I'd grab something and be like, what the fuck? A calcified tampon from
Well,
like
it's not calcified.
a
I just
year
took
ago?
it fresh out my pussy so you could fuck
Yeah,
me.
but if you
Get
forgot about
over
it for a year.
Yeah. But anyways, no, I always remembered. So I thought I'd done this with this guy. I thought I had taken out my tampon in the just as we were like getting hot and heavy. But the next morning I couldn't find it. And it wasn't in like the bathroom bin either. So I was like, what the fuck? Where is this tampon? And like I was a bit hungover. I had a bit of that like, one night stand kind of shame that you kind of get where you're like, oh
The
fuck,
guilt.
where you're like, I couldn't even pick this man out of a lineup. I have no idea who he is. So I was like, right, I'm just going to have to go to the hospital because if it's up there, like it can rot inside of me. So the next morning.
Did you just shove your fingers deep inside?
I tried and I just couldn't feel anything. But I was like, but when it goes past your kind of cervix, you can't feel anything because it's like no kind of like pain receptors there. So I was like, oh shit. So I got my friend with me.
Can't you use
rolled a big fat
pliers?
Joint. Yes, pliers do. I gotta use pliers inside of my pussy to find this fucking stuck tampon.
Well, wrap them in like plastic or rubber bands or something.
I ended up going to the hospital with my friend. We were both stoned because we smoked a big fat joint on the way there.
God, I'd been terrified high.
We only had to wait a little while, and then like the doctor came in, and then she looked inside, and she was like, "It's not there. It's not there. But then she told me this story about there was this nutter who used to go in. She's like obviously had mental disorders. And she came in once and she had 32 tampons inside of her.
32?
32. This is why I'm telling you when I say that I can take 8 dreidels with ease.
32 tampons.
I never did find that tampon, so I reckon I flushed it down the toilet, which you should never do. But I reckon I did that night.
It's probably under your bed right now.
No, I've long since moved from that house. I hope it's there and it's like become like part of the walls.
I had just to add another disgusting story. In college, one of my roommates was a resident, I guess. What is that when you're still a student, but then you're trying to be like a doctor? You have to do like an internship, a resident. Yeah, resident. Yeah. Anyway, he was like a resident at a Detroit like emergency room because he wanted to be an emergency room doctor. Yeah, I know. He had some amazing stories. Yeah, I should try to see if that guy. He probably would never do it. He's like married with dad, but like with kids, he's like a dad. But anyway, he had this one story while we were in college. He was like working one night and it was late. It was like I don't know, like 2 a.m. or something. This woman came in. And he said she kind of looked like a crackhead. Didn't really know for sure, but she was just like. And they're like, okay, what's wrong? She's like, my pussy be stinking. They were just like, what? They're like, my pussy be stinking. And so they're like, all right. And so they're like, well, okay. And so she waited, and then they got her in the back, and then she like got it, got on the stirrups, and the doctor went in there. And yeah, there was like fucking 2 tampons shoved really high in there, and they extracted it. He said it was the most disgusting odor he has ever smelled. Everyone in there kind of was like dry heaved.
Her pussy be stankin'.
And she was like, I told you, it smells. And like everybody was just like, what the fuck? Even people in the reception area could smell how bad it smelled.
I was like, oh damn, her pussy be stinking.
She's like, I told you. I told everybody.
My pussy be stinking. Well, you see, Dee, that could have happened to me, but it didn't. My pussy smells perfect.
Yeah, maybe you should borrow Schlitzy's Speculum.
Never.